What's up, everybody? Welcome to TPI, the Total Podcast Idiots Show. I'm idiot number, I don't know, my one or two, depending on if Rob is here or not. Um, Obviously, Rob is not here again. It's a busy quarter for him in his PhD program right now. So just trying to continue this going, hold down the fort while he is working on that. But I am joined by Chris again, and he has his camera today. So welcome, Chris.
Yeah, idiot number three. At least I know my number because it doesn't change. So until you
Uh,
get
it's it's like temporary.
very idiot number three, but filling in. So
Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me today.
absolutely. How's it going, Andrew?
I'm doing all right. An undefeated day. Big win by Dominican. Sorry to Clayton State, but he had an injury to like one of his top players. Like it's gonna be a rough time.
Against a good team like that, I mean, you really have to bring everybody. So I get that.
Yeah. So it's looking good, but I have a big matchup against the team that I am tied with, I think, tomorrow or this next game. Yeah, Rhode Island. Yeah. So, they're really scary. They're very top heavy. They have a 7'1" big man who's like a 150 SI or something. He's very good. He's very good.
And those guys win in Hardwood. I mean, if we know anything, it's that bigs dominate. That's how I didn't have an undefeated day, but that's how Syracuse has got by most of the season. Is just having above average big man, and everything else has just kind of worked its way around. But Fullerton did get conference win number 3 today, which was huge. So
That's right. That's right.
I
Nice.
was
Congrats.
surprised. Always nice.
That's good. Yeah. A bit of a surprise, but you'll take it, right?
Oh yeah, every time. My future star point guard got his first play of the game, so I was really proud.
Oh, nice. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Always nice. It's the small stuff, you got to take what you can. So
Absolutely. It'll go up in his dorm room, that little plaque or trophy.
absolutely. And then right next to that, it'll say lost 30 games his freshman season or something.
Well, he might win conference freshman of the year, right?
Also possible. I just need to go double green light on him right now and let him just do whatever.
Yeah. That's interesting. We might get into this later. I think some people believe that like putting your players on green light more will like help them develop faster. And I don't know if that's true necessarily. I wouldn't doubt it though. It kind of makes sense.
Mhm. I think when
Yeah.
development, I always think of from a minute standpoint.
Right. Same.
If you're keeping those guys at high minutes, and in theory, if they're taking a lot of shots or they have the ball in their hands, like why wouldn't they develop more? And I don't know if the game engine thinks that way, but there's been good development from both my guys that I've had at Greenlight for this season so far.
Yeah. Well, then maybe that's a topic for another day. If it's Haynes, right? Is that one of the guys on the green
Yeah.
light?
Haynes
Well,
and my JUCO forward Wilkes, those two guys.
well, that's a 13 pot in Haynes and a 12 pot in Wilkes. So they will grow pretty fast anyways, I think.
So yeah, they need to keep it up because my other freshmen are not doing a great job of that. So.
Oh no. Yeah, I know next year is gonna be a bit better than this year, at least for you.
Absolutely.
But yeah, both because you'll be probably in a lower league level.
No, there's no problem. Yeah, I'll be
Unfortunately.
level 4. So
And then
just
of
fine.
course your team will have improved too, of course. So
Yeah, and hopefully we can get one of my recruits' academics in order because as somebody who has been accepted into Cal State Fullerton, it was not super hard. So he can do a better job. But
same.
yeah, I'm like, come on.
just slip in those test scores, under the door, slide them in.
Yeah, it's not a UC. That's what I'm trying to tell him. I'm like, it shouldn't be that bad. So
All right. So what are we going to talk about today, though? What's on your mind?
yeah, I think after looking at logging in and looking at the recruiting news today, seeing some big time prospects go off the board, that's what I'm interested in right now. We're in that time of year where recruiting's about halfway over. Let's see some of these top battles and let's see some of these hot prospects that people are really fighting over and kind of think maybe where they're going to go.
For sure. Yeah. So today, I know we've skipped over a lot of episodes, just schedules and a little bit of a break and all. So we haven't done those like weekly updates. So we haven't looked at like the tournament picture recently. It just popped up like this past weekend, but it's interesting. I'm sure we'll take a look at it soon. I did notice today though that there's like a lot of LL4 teams in the D1 tournament projected field, which I think we didn't think was going to happen at the beginning of the year. I thought we thought D4 or LL4 was kind of weak, to be honest, overall. So it's interesting that there's so many projected teams.
I remember there being a lot of discussion, at least in the Discord, about LL2 and LL3 being really
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think then that they're likely to have more teams, but maybe they're just beating each other up and it's allowing some of these LL4 teams to sneak in there. But there's a lot of them right now.
Yeah, like because I know Asheville and another LL4 team, I forget who, Augsburg, I think, are like in the top 15 or something like that. Like Asheville's number 15, Augsburg is like 18 or something.
Yeah,
Dominican is 20. Augsburg is 16th.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So yeah, like 3 top 20 teams. Like Dominican yesterday wasn't ranked, and then today they're ranked 20th, which is a big jump.
Yes, jumped 6 spots. I mean, you can't complain though. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. I mean, ranking means nothing here in San Rafael.
That's true.
It's all about wins and trophies for me.
It's about the rank at the end of the year, right? That's what matters. So if you're number one, then that feels pretty good.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's our weekly update. We'll probably look at it a little bit more over the weekend.
Yeah.
But today is something we haven't done in a while. It's one of these like tips and tricks especially for newcomers. But I think, as always, there's always something valuable for any president of any level of experience. I think, at least, maybe some of these people who have been playing for almost 3 years now will be like, that I don't care.
They still watch the podcast, and that's what's good, because
Yeah.
I mean, comments from guys who are winning a hell of a lot more games than I am, and they seem to watch it. So you should too. Everybody should watch this.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of messages from people who have been playing the game like since the beginning, and they're all, I can't thank them enough for watching and commenting and just listening and offering their thoughts, because I certainly learn a lot from all of them, and I hope they can learn something from these.
Sure.
All right, so you were saying recruiting battles. I know we get off tangent, but that's what we do here.
Yeah.
So recruiting battles. So here's these top high school seniors, at least, and we can go into like Juco sophomores as well, and then we'll look at the hot prospects too, the ones that have been getting a lot of interest. But yeah, I mean, you can see just from the early looks, like the top 10 have all committed already.
It's crazy.
Which that's pretty crazy. Yeah.
I remember what Ralph Banning went pretty close down to the wire last year, right? I thought it took a while for him to commit.
I thought he was pretty late. Yeah. I don't remember what team he's on. He's in like D2 right now or something.
Is it Concordia, Minnesota? It's some Minnesota team. I don't know. I think, right?
Some Minnesota team. I can't quite remember.
He does have like 9 open scholarships, and I also would want Ralph Banning, so maybe that's a good idea. I don't know.
Yeah, it was one of those teams where he's like the only player.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm interested to see how he's doing.
St. Thomas.
Yeah, Tommies, the Tommies.
Oh, okay. Never mind. They're in LO4. All right.
Gotta put some respect on him. Maybe
they're mid-table too. All right. Hey.
Not bad.
Let's see how he's doing though. I'm curious. Obviously leading scorer, 23 points a game.
Okay.
33 minutes, 17 shots. Wow.
About 5 assists. So they've got him shoot. I mean, nobody else is double digits. Yeah, he's just shooting.
His usage rate is 36.
Is Rob running this team? Like
yeah, right.
These are very similar to Santa Clara numbers. This is surprising.
No one who's played more than 5 games has a usage rate over 20.
You know what? Keep it up. I enjoy this. This is good.
Listen, I mean, if you have Ralph Banning, you use him, and this person is using them. So,
and he can't leave early. It's like get all 4 years of just him dominating.
That's right. So that's good. I love that. So yeah, I mean, Kelvin Wallace here was the top ranked guy of this class, going to D1 or LL1 Ursinus, which, yeah, I mean, 14 pot, already 141 is kind of ridiculous. He's kind of short, right? 5'9.5" is kind of short, but he like should grow, and he has at least one more growth rate, if not like maybe a mini one after that even.
Yeah, I could see him hitting like a 2 or 3 inch growth rate here, and maybe like 1 as he goes into his sophomore year. I don't know. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, he should be close to 6 feet.
Hmm.
So I mean, if you have a 6 foot point guard who's going to have some of these stats and be able to shoot the ball like that, I think a lot of people would take that.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, this is obviously it's the number one player. Like he's going to be impressive. um, I think there's some things to pick at, definitely, but I think you're happy to land this person if this player if you're Ursinus, right?
Yeah, my thought on him is I wonder, with all the talk in the Discord about the 5 star red shirt penalty, I wonder if this guy plays, and I wonder if he plays, pretty considerable minutes. You would think so because he's going to be at least 150 going his freshman year.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I haven't looked at Ursinus, they're an LO1 team, so like they clearly know how to do things. It looks like they redshirt the majority of their players, right?
Yeah, they have a
Um,
red shirt in the 5 star center. That's what I'm the freshman.
that's what it looks. Is that what it looks like here?
Um,
Yeah. He's only played 4 games.
gonna do it. There you go.
Yeah, you'd think they're gonna redshirt him. So yeah, but they haven't redshirted this 4-star player, right?
Yeah, so we'll see. It'll be. I mean, I'm absolutely terrified of the 5 star. I mean, I've not landed any 5 stars, but I'm terrified of the 5 star red shirt penalty just based on what I've heard. So
Is Haynes a 5-star or no?
he was a 4 star,
Oh,
but I
okay.
got a couple underclassmen that I'm so far off from ever potentially landing. But if I did, I would probably play them because I've just heard so many bad things. I know 4 stars bring that little bit of a penalty, but man, not being able to taking double the interest to gain on in-state guys would be brutal.
Yeah, and we've been tracking our recruiting and how much points it takes, and I think 4 stars. Someone kind of put like 25%. That's kind of around the number I've seen it take in terms of like an increase.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense. So I think that we'll see. But again, I don't know how long the effect lasts. I'll try to update people when that comes. But yeah. Okay, so that's Kelvin Wallace. We got Ty Kovacs here going to Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's that team who has like a ton of 5 stars or 4 stars.
They remind me a little bit of Vanderbilt.
Right.
They use some of their rides, but it's similar to where they recruit with the big boys and they do a good job at it. So you can't really complain.
Yeah, this guy, this 5-star that they got, Kovacs, he'll be the 4th 5-star on this team.
That's wild.
You see, they redshirt everybody else. But actually, I think they're redshirting Cole because he hasn't played 1 game.
Yeah, so he'll get the red shirt, which makes sense. You brought in a 5-star Hugh Bro year before, so at the same position. So I mean,
yeah, and Bro's playing, but Irving actually is being redshirted. I'm pretty sure because he hasn't played a game yet either.
Wow. So he's gonna get hit he's gonna get hit big time next year. But at least he's got this guy coming in on campus. It looks like at the point guard position, like that's going to be, he'll just be the natural successor to Irving. Maybe he could play next to him if he plays him next year.
Yeah,
Kovacs has a little bit more size than the player we were just looking at, but
yeah. And then Wallace. My issue is the perimeter defense here, and he's going to have to play perimeter unless he's like going to grow a lot more, which does not. Maybe he grows like a little bit more because he's had the stall out, but he's only projected 72. So
yeah, there's no defense comment on him. I mean, kudos to getting a player that's troubled, may not be college material. I mean, that's surprising, but that is scary. I mean, it's really smart player, like has great speed, stamina combination, but I don't know if you put that guy out there because he's going to get cooked in that division. Like teams, these are teams that know how to match up and they know how to, really attack those weak points. So
yeah. Well, you won't have to worry about Dominican probably. So okay, so let's see. And then Bama, oh my gosh, these are 2 teams that I'm in a division with. What the heck?
Look at the top 10 players, right? It's a lot of like teams that we're really familiar with, just either from being on the Discord or winning games in the tournament. And then you have a couple on there where it makes you wonder what the heck happened here.
Yeah. So yeah, Wes Rossi going to Bama, just a 12 pot though. So when we talk about like redshirting and penalties and all, there was a question about like redshirting a 12 pot 4-star, and now there's a 12 pot 5-star, which that'll incur a bigger redshirt penalty. I don't. So like just initially off the bat, just off of that and alone, I wouldn't redshirt him, right? Is that your like sense?
Yeah, in my mind, when I see that, I think Fury brought it up a couple times in the Discord and really given some thought on it. If the player is going to hit and cap out by the time he's a junior, which is when you look at this guy's SI, I would say that's likely, and maybe even a little sooner than that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really want to take that severe of a penalty when you could have, you could be bringing in other players that will play behind this guy and might exceed that SI and not have that bad of a penalty? Whether it's a 13 pot 3-star or another 4-star that you bring in, that penalty won't be as bad. You got to play this guy.
Yeah. He's athletic though. I mean, that 38-inch vertical is real nice.
Good wingspan. He's actually a point guard. He's got some weight on him too. You see a lot of these point guards, he's sometimes under 6 feet in like that 160, 170 range. So it's nice to see 200 pounds there.
Yeah, I really like his build though. Defense, the shooting. I mean, the long range shooting isn't ideal, but he has everything else. Maybe the IQ is not like the best.
You'd like that to be a little, and no IQ comment, which is interesting. But I mean, it makes up for it with the speed. He's going to be really, really fast.
Yeah, definitely.
But and I mean, like stats, which is you love to see.
Oh, what? Sorry, what was that? The stats?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. On the SI, on the skills, a lot of the double-digit skills, like you love to see. Already as a senior, 11 finishing, 10 rebounding. He's going to be double-digit perimeter defense when he comes in. Obviously, he's got 10 strength, which 10 strength is not bad for a point guard.
Yeah,
it's up. He's got the excellent player comment too, so I think he should get some of those physical skills. Right, that's what that usually influences.
Okay. Hold on. All right, we are back after some technical difficulties. I think I'm going to be off camera, but I'll still definitely be here. Okay, so we talked about Rossi. I think we'll probably skip through some of the next few guys. But I mean, there's one trend I want to note is that like all these guys are committing in region at least, if not in state, So I think we knew that already, that like geographic advantage is very big in this game, which I think is good. I don't really want to change that, but I think, sometimes I feel like I want to recruit out of region a lot more than the game will allow,
Yeah, I think there's been some pipeline talk, right, in the Discord where people have mentioned the idea of, I've recruited 4 players from this state or region or whatever. Maybe it makes it a little start getting those guys, but I like seeing the guys commit in region and in state, which makes sense because as a West Coast school, like California has a lot of talent. I don't really want the talent going elsewhere too much.
Right. Yeah.
In a non-selfish way, like you always want to find those gems, and it does make it a lot harder, to really start dumping points in those guys whenever they start going a little high up on the SI and the star rating and get noticed a little more.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anyone else in the top 10 here who you want to take a look at though?
Yeah, I wanted to look at a guy who committed today, actually. I want to look at Ben Shelton.
Okay, yeah.
National champions, Evansville. He's interesting. I mean, he doesn't have great SI growth over the last couple of years, but one of those things where, he's 6'9", he's a big body. When you see that, prospect center with 5 next to it in the stars, I think those guys are going to get recruited no matter what.
Right.
I think he's a good prospect. I mean, he'll play, but when you look at Evansville's recruiting situation, which was brought up today.
Let me get over there real quick.
Yeah, they have 6 scholarships for next season.
Yeah.
So it looks like they recruited Alex Solorio a little bit. I just feel like they're going to really have to start. They're going to have to really start getting into that junior class. And obviously, we're only privy to so much. He could have points on some guys and be ready to pop interest soon. But a lot of the top juniors are already recruited. Like these guys start getting recruited years before they commit, and
Right.
so it makes me think that Evansville is going to have to find some of those under the radar guys, which I'm sure they've done before, and really start recruiting those now to kind of fill around Shelton.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, luckily with Evansville being in Legends, having a lot of prestige, I bet they have a decent recruiting coach. He's kind of old. He used to be excellent. That simply will help, like, obviously get onto a prospect, whether it's a junior or even if they want to add to this class, it'll help them do it a lot quicker than say yours or my team.
Yeah.
um,
Just that prestige in general, I imagine, helps a ton.
yeah, yeah. So, I don't think it's impossible for them to just like get on a prospect really quickly, and move up really fast. But yeah, you're right. I think right now they might, now that they landed Sheldon, I know Sheldon was obviously a big target for them. Yeah, they might, want to think about what to do next. What's the next step? I'm sure they are thinking of that, but I mean, like,
Well, I'm sure they are
yeah.
too. And I don't mean to criticize them. It's just that whenever I look at it, that did stick out to me. But I think there's quite a few guys on this top 10 list who've committed to teams that have, a good amount of open scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we've seen that in recruiting where the guys want to play. And obviously, whenever you have a team like Evansville that's in Legends, as you said, has great prestige, that's just going to make it easier for him to get them. And I think that
Yeah.
it's smart in Evansville to put so many points into this guy, though, because 5-star centers don't come around often. And
Yeah.
if that's the formula he used to win his national title, then keep it up, man. You know what you're doing.
You're right. Right. Is there anyone else you wanted to talk about here?
I think the guys that I wanted to talk about are going to be on the hot prospects list. Is there anybody else that you wanted to go over?
Um, no, because I haven't landed any of them.
I will say Bruce Johnson looks like a monster. Just 15 pot. Anytime you see that, it's like, whew.
Right. Yeah, that's one. Xavier has got to be really happy. That one stood out to me. Obviously, Mesa, who we will talk about when we go to top or the hot prospects. That's another one that stands out. Yeah, these 15 pots. Yeah, I mean, they gotta be the hottest guys, I think, for sure. I mean, I think we all look at that pot number a lot. I look at the pot number a lot more than the SI, the star rating.
I agree.
There's definitely people who look at the SI more, which is fine. Yeah. Oh wow, I'm just looking at Juco sophomores, so the top 11 of all committed here.
That's wild. Yeah, there were a lot of JUCOs coming in the last couple of days, which
Yeah, the big one was Gilbert today, right?
Gilbert today. Yeah, I mean Gilbert going off the board today was surprising. I know there was a joke about he'll finally be able to play college ball because I think this guy's been recruited heavily for years or for seasons.
Yeah.
But he's like a monster. Like
yeah, because my New York team, I remember him being like a high school junior, I think.
Yeah.
And obviously he had a lot of interest then. And then he was like a bad academic kid though. And so obviously he went to JUCO. Couldn't make grades, I guess.
I guess not, yeah, but now he's going to Villanova. So great
Yeah.
Villanova.
Staying
Staying
at home.
city, right? Because is Nova's in Philly, isn't it?
It's basically in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I knew Temple was. I thought Nova was too. I wasn't positive.
It's considered, it's like the big, what, isn't it like the big five in there or something like that?
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know my Philly history as well as I should for,
No, yeah. But no, I think Gilbert looks like a phenomenal player. The one issue that I had with him, which his speed might make up for that, is his stamina. He's going to be a sluggish guy in that aspect.
Yeah, yeah.
But then you see him have 16 speed, and you're just like, he's so athletic, but he just doesn't have any stamina.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't want to work hard, obviously, not in the classroom, not on his conditioning, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see if that hurts him whenever it comes draft time in a couple of years.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want this kid in my team culture. No, I'm just kidding. He's a very talented individual.
Yesterday, so
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean, JUCO's, I don't know. It's not really a market I participate in anymore that often. So I really don't know like what's going on. And I mean, obviously, like you can find good players certainly. It's more just like I see a bunch of names I recognize from when they were high school seniors and then didn't commit.
Yeah, Grayson Lucas sticks out to me as that. I remember seeing him, I think,
Yeah.
he was a senior, and now he's turned into he's a 6'6" point guard, going to go into college, over 140 SI. He's going to be pretty solid.
Cal State LA here, yeah.
Good for them.
Who we both are competing against in different ways.
Well, yeah, very true. I mean, Cal State LA is going to be heavily talked about on this podcast, I think, over the next season for obvious reasons.
For sure, yeah. They're a good program there.
Very good.
All right, let's go on to the hot prospects, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, I mean, I can talk a lot about this top guy.
That's what we're talking about, Cal State LA. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and talk about him?
Yeah, I mean, this recruiting buzz number, like you can see, obviously, it's much higher than anyone else. This is three of these blocks, which I don't even know what these blocks really even mean.
They're really red. So that just means hot. That's all I got.
Yeah. But in terms of like what it translates to, in terms of like how many contacts are being spent on him or how many teams are interested. I mean, we can obviously see how many teams are interested in him. So I mean, this must be a measure of like how many contacts are being spent, but I don't know how to like translate it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if we could get that info from.
I'm revealing exactly what I'm at.
Yeah. Oh no.
It's whatever. I don't care.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't even know if I'm gonna like stay in this battle just because like it's I can admit like it's been a while since I got to high plus, but and he hasn't moved to high plus yet. So maybe I hit a sort of a soft cap somehow, even though I'm LL4. But yeah, I mean, I think Cal State LA, we can look at their recruiting situation here. Because it's interesting, and like obviously I know this very well because I'm in direct competition with them. Oh, Clay Flood committed today to Cal Poly. Oh no.
Yeah, I know that was a surprise too.
I was kind of banking on Clay Flood committing to Cal State LA.
Yeah, right. That would have been nice. But yeah, newly managed Cal Poly landed their first commit today, Clay Flood.
Wow. So yeah, obviously like Grayson Lucas coming on. He got two guys here in Crook and Bermudez, and I was medium on Crook too, but I never offered him a scholarship. So he committed before that, which is fine. I hadn't invested in Crook since like last season. So let's see. So obviously he's on 2 5-stars, one who could still commit, although he's medium versus a couple teams that are high. So he's probably, or one team that's high, probably out of it.
Him recently.
What? Sorry, what?
I think UCLA went to high on him recently because I think they were both a medium, weren't they?
Yeah, you mean UNLV?
UNLV. I'm sorry. Yeah, I read a very small 4-letter acronym. Yeah. UNLV, which I mean, I know that it seems like guys tend to stay in state, although they do go in region sometimes. That might just be a hard one for him to land. With UNLV at high interest.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously high on Hoffmeister. And Cal State LA has been high on Hoffmeister at least since last season at some point.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, but then they got the medium on Bradley Kane really recently. Because I've been tracking that because I'm also at low on Bradley Kane. So when I saw Cal State LA pop up, I was like, wait, what? Because I was like, they're also on Hoffmeister. Why would they also be on Kane?
It makes me wonder. I know with Hoffmeister, we did see, obviously Dominican's a big competitor there, but we did see Azusa, right? They went to medium over the last week.
Yeah. So Azusa Pacific, obviously former national champions, LL3. They got to medium recently. Oh, they're out of demotion right now. Oh,
yeah, that'd be huge for them if they could stay up this year.
Yeah. I'm kind of banking on them to
maybe that's why they look at Kane, potentially just to get that interest in there.
Sure. Yeah.
They've got, I think they have a good recruiting coach. They've obviously got the LL3 behind them. Maybe it wasn't too many points to get up to medium for Kane, so they thought, let's go ahead and throw some of those out there. But I almost think with a battle like this, it might be best won just by dumping a ton of points into this dude. And I know he's been doing that for multiple seasons, but I'm probably throwing everything I have at Brian Hoffmeister every day until he commits, which I did just, question somebody on doing with Evansville. I'm probably doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, yeah. There's a bit of a difference between Shelton and Hoffmeister, a little bit.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I can, I can admit, like, I haven't been throwing every point every day on Hoffmeister, but I've been, working on him, letting him know, hey, Dominican, that the team that was first on you, when you were a freshman, Brian, we're still interested. We would, we want you over here.
Division II champs.
Division two, like, hey, I mean, we got some cachet here.
Send him a championship shirt, all that good stuff. Obviously within NCAA regulations, but
yeah.
His battle is going to be interesting. I know he's only a junior, but I think he's probably one of the more watched or more, contacted recruits, I think, that we've seen so far in the game.
I think, I don't remember which division they were in, but they were at low. They stayed at low. Recently showed up, but they're also out of region. All right, again, more technical difficulties, but we'll just keep pushing through. So we're talking about Adelphi here. They're an LL5 team in Utah. Kind of a new president. So, I don't know, probably not great use of the points, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't know their recruiting situation, but
Let's take
it
a look.
gets so low on Hoff for them had to take a lot of points. Oh, they were on Isaiah Gilbert too.
Oh, wow. And two other 4-stars who were in region at least.
That's good at least.
But a Canadian who's going to take a lot. And he's only on low on these other guys.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, Adelphi, if you're watching this, the president of Adelphi, reach out, man. Why aren't you going a little more on Lockett? Do you just not like him enough as a prospect? Are you shooting for the stars? Like, let's get some feedback. What interested in what you're doing here.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't work. I mean, the number 10 recruit in the country went to a school I've never heard of, LL6 school in Texas. So
yeah, St. Mary's, Texas. That's right. Yeah. But yeah, like you said, Azusa is coming up. They were low for like a whole season, and now they recently moved to medium. And like we talked about their recruiting already a little bit. They mistakenly signed Michael Burke when they were really going after Schrader more, but they only had one scholarship available. So then they moved to low on Doty, I remember, first.
Yeah.
Well, they were already on low on Hoffmeister, but then they moved to low on Doty. And now they're medium on both. So I don't know, they might be coming in pretty hot, right?
Yeah, I think
trying to land both.
I think Basoy here is thinking, Doty, like I believe he has the no preference comment, which for Azusa here. So he's probably thinking, I feel comfortable going up against Minnesota State and Edgewood.
Yeah.
So why not dump some points in a Hoff and get back in that race? I mean, he's a junior. There's a lot of time left. So, we could somebody really turn it up, or he could just go to Dominican or Cal State LA. Who knows?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, what I'm not sure of, I feel like I'm running into a soft cap, honestly. And I'm in LL4. And so I don't know if like these LL3 teams, Cal State LA and Azusa Pacific, are also maybe meeting some sort of soft cap at some point. Probably not, I'd imagine. But who knows? Yeah,
and I mean, that's not to count out too. I know Humboldt State, I think, has been on him for a while, right?
Yeah, but they're probably going to demote.
Yeah,
they're LL4 and going to demote.
Oh, LL5. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. There's no way.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I feel like a Gibbs star. I'm same place, buddy.
Yeah, and Cal State San Bernardino is LL6.
They shoot stars.
Yeah, they shoot for these guys, but there's just no way at this point. Like
I don't think
not with these new restrictions.
I don't think that's a worthwhile spending of points.
Yeah, San Francisco is LL5, but they're maybe going to demote. They're kind of it's looking dicey for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's really Cal State LA, Dominican, and Azusa are like really the main contenders. Um, Hopefully I promote. Hopefully Cal State LA doesn't. Hopefully Azusa demotes, and then I'm looking good.
It's you need all the dominoes to fall in your favor, but I think it's pretty likely that he signs as one of those three schools now. So
Yeah. All right. So that's the top guy, but the top international guy is Toby Henry, and I mean he's having a monster year right now. Is 6'9.5", 15 pot Australian. I won't dox myself here at least.
and so this is the guy I remember. You know, we're all checking our phones and checking our computers and stuff, seeing the new prospects generate
On flip day, you mean?
on flip day, and I switched over to the internationals because they always come in as no potential or whatever
Yeah.
on the filter. I switched it over and I just see this. I see 15 in center.
Yeah.
And I think I just was like, I think I cursed, but I was so oh my gosh, that is ridiculous. I know I sent him over to you and Rob, and I was like, this guy is an actual monster.
Mhm.
I think there was like a second of discussion about do I just go all in on this guy? Like, and I'm really glad I didn't when I see some of the competition.
Right.
But Henry looks really nice. He's showing decent growth for an international because it seems like the internationals don't have a lot of growth. While they're in that part of their prospect, but like I feel like he's going to be just a really, really good player, and he's already got the size. I mean, he's huge, and he's going to potentially get bigger. So,
Yeah. I mean, you got Kansas State and LO, a Legends team, right? I
Mhm.
think Oklahoma's still Legends. No. Whoa, never mind. They've dropped all the way down to LL3.
Yeah, I think they had that 2 years without a manager or without a
Mhm.
president, and then they were claimable again when they hit 3.
That's right. But Fury 508, pretty experienced president, has taken them over. This is obviously second team, so it's not as experienced. I just air quoted and I don't have my camera on. So you got St. Mary's, an LL2 team, and run by Naff, who is Australian himself. So he obviously wants to win the top Australian guy.
I'm cheering for NAF here. I think sorry, Kansas State, sorry, Fury, but I want NAF to land Toby Henry, the actual monster from Brisbane. Like, I think that would just be so fun.
I think it'd be a great story, definitely. Just because NAF is the most active Discord user out of all these teams, I probably am a little biased towards him too. And it's also been a little tough because I know St. Mary's has like whiffed on a lot of prospects in these past few years. So, it'd be nice to see them win one for the first time in a while, it seems like.
Yeah, and that might be, I know, I don't know his recruiting situation exactly, but I know there's been a couple of those guys, as you mentioned. And maybe this is a result of I've been splitting up on 2 or 3 guys and putting in a lot of points. So let's all in on this guy. And I think this is the type of guy you do put those points into, 15 pot center, similar to Hoff, just an insane prospect. And Naff actually dipped his toe in the Daniel Ashworth sweepstakes.
I see that. Yeah. And 8 teams already on low.
On him. Maybe the first, I think maybe the second. I'm trying to remember.
Not the first, because that was like East Bay, I think.
Yeah. So it might have been Ashworth was a guy that I know I'd mentioned to you, Andrew, a while, like before he picked up any interest. About just like, oh my gosh, this guy's a monster. I don't think the One Canada school is in his area. So it's like maybe he, you can get all sorts of schools on him, whatever.
Right.
Although I think they've offered him.
Yeah, but, Simon Fraser has, yeah.
He's a guy that I think is going to be the Hoff in, not to the exact extent, maybe in a couple of years where you're going to see 10 teams on him that are battling for him.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you can see St. Mary's signed Austin Marks, but I think they're going pretty hard at Henry. I think they've given up on Hatfield here. So at this point, yeah, it's basically like all in on Henry,
Yeah, I want to say that he mentioned Marks might have been a backup to Hatfield.
Yeah.
That, but I mean, that would make sense, right?
That would make sense. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Toby Henry. I mean, looking pretty good. And then Ashworth is the third guy here in the hot prospects. So let's take a look at him. And we saw 8 teams or 9 teams on him.
Mhm.
We said East Bay was first. I remember, I know that for a fact because I know you were looking at him, and then we saw East Bay show up, and we're like, oh no, it's
Yeah, no, thank you.
yeah. I mean, not all these teams think that way, certainly.
Yeah, true. I mean, hey, I get it. Confidence is important in this game, especially if you've won some of these battles already.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's a great prospect. A little slight, but I mean, he's only a sophomore, so hopefully he'll put on some weight. He gained 15 pounds from last year,
Mhm.
but his projected height, I think, is over 7 feet, right? That's
It's 7 feet exactly. Yeah.
exactly 84. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But like East Bay's LO2, like as LO3, LO4 teams, we're a little more scared of that. West Virginia being a Legends team is not scared of that. St. Mary's being a fellow LL2 team is not scared of that. Simon Fraser, I think, is LL2 and in Canada. So I think it's regional. They're LL3, but still having the regional advantage at least is good. I think it's regional. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I'm not positive. I would think it is, but I mean, I haven't had aren't they the only Canadian team, or they're the
They're the only Canadian team yet. So it's not like we can even speak to like experience, like no one can except for Simon Fraser.
maybe I'll message you and ask him that, or Steve can chime in. But that's it. I figured it would be regional because it makes sense. But if by the same logic that I'm hoping Henry goes to St. Mary's, I guess I should be hoping that Daniel Ashworth goes to Simon Fraser, right?
Yeah, I just hope I never see him,
No,
basically.
unless it's in the tournament because he's so good.
Yeah,
This guy's
yeah.
one of the guys that when you see him pop up, you're like, okay, this is just like Hoff, where it's this is gonna be a battle for years. So
Yeah, it's kind of like that Richard Love where you're like, ah, man, I mean, what do I do?
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
All right, you want to talk about Jose Meza because I know this guy is in your state actually with
Uh, I fun fact, uh,
Central Arkansas.
I dated a girl from Hope, Arkansas,
Oh, really?
and it's a town of like, no joke, like 700 people. It's super small, right? So the idea is 5-star all world point guard is coming from there is very unbelievable, but it's um his recruitment's been interesting because I know Arkansas State was on him early. So was Kansas State. Kansas State was dipping out of region a little bit. They can do that because they're a Legends team, I think, right?
Yeah.
So they can do that a little bit, but Arkansas State came on him pretty hard.
Mhm.
Then Arkansas, I think, was fighting some recruiting battles last year, and then actually once those were over, started throwing some more points into Meza and got him up to high too. But he's a guy. I mean, 15 pot, showing some decent shooting, has great comments. I think he's going to be a really good player. And he was a guy, a freshman I saw whenever at UCA, and I thought maybe I just put all my points into this guy, and then I was like, no, that's going to waste 4 years of recruiting. So,
Oh, you saw him as a freshman?
it was either freshman or sophomore. He might have been a sophomore, Jim, when I think about it.
I forget. Yeah.
And I just thought, oh my gosh, like 15 pot, this guy's going to blow up. And there's a couple good prospects in Arkansas, I think, the next 2 years, but he's really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough for Arkansas. I don't know how in they are on Henry, right? Because it's tough to be in 2 5-stars in the same class, and they just landed Robin Church too, so they landed a 4-star. I mean, maybe they're on Elliott still. Like, it's hard to land all of these guys.
Yeah, I think that there was some talk about that too with in the Discord. If I'm Arkansas in the situation, I probably would have just gone after Church, Meza, and Elliott and really tried to land those 2 guys, maybe playing the same backcourt.
Mm-hmm.
I think Henry was a bit ambitious. They're an LL4 team. They've had some good recruiting success. But when you're going after 4 targets, I mean, Church just committed yesterday?
Yeah.
When you're going after 4 targets that are 4 stars and higher that all have a couple teams of comp at your equal level.
Yeah.
Just don't know if dumping 30 points into Henry, maybe more, was the best use. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, because you can see, it's all this class. They got nothing for next class, which, like, I think you and I both have, like, gotten the benefits of a lot, right?
Mm-hmm. Of going down to the upper or the underclassmen.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, this last year I think almost my entire class wrapped up before they were seniors, and I only lost one of those guys because I decided not to pursue them when another team came in. And I think it really helps. I've actually noticed this is a trend I think Arkansas does. Because when I took over UCA, I wanted to be aware of the big programs in the state because Arkansas came in and swooped a player from me like in one day, and I was like, okay, I know what they can do now. And I don't even think he plays that much, but whatever. I think they recruit really heavily as seniors, and then they move on to the next class when those guys become seniors. Like it was a weird process, but I just remember them not being on a lot of underclassmen. But then those guys like Jose Meza flip up to being seniors, and you're dumping points into them. So I don't know if that's going to work for them in the long run. I know I've heard that it's good to get on a guys earlier, but I think Arkansas typically recruits seniors and spends most of their points there versus getting in on them earlier.
Yeah, I mean, so in the manual, it says like the earlier the contact is made, the better. But I don't know if that's simply because like the flip happens and you get a boost from that, or is it like an actual thing like that if you're earlier, then it's like also hidden like inherently better too.
Yeah.
Like it's not visible though. I don't know how to explain that, but like you know what I mean.
Yeah, if Hardwood was real life, right? I think that happens a lot where with football or basketball, whatever, a guy gets an offer as a more, and that means to them because that was the first team that believed in me and things like that, right? Like that is
you hear that a lot.
Kids. Yeah, like, and I think that something, whatever Steve says in the manual, like it's good to get the points in early. Is that just because it's going to scare off other teams, or is that because there's actually a benefit, like the points you put in as a sophomore way more than the points you put in as a senior? I don't know. I'd love to know. I don't think we ever will get a direct answer, but
probably not.
I'd love to know. Yeah, that's something that I know we've all talked about a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to know, but I also like the mystery of it too, still being there.
Well, it can't be just a formula, right, that we know, because then everybody would have it solved and it wouldn't be fun, right? Because it would all just be min-maxing and everybody would know what to do.
Yeah, exactly. There was one other guy I wanted to talk about actually pretty far down. It's this guy, the 16 pot sophomore.
Okay. I just said everybody because he was from Ohio and he's got the highest potential in the game. So
yeah. So I mean, he's Toledo is out here, Missouri, Kansas City, Huntington, Indianapolis. Oh man,
I'm high on him already. That's crazy.
Yeah. Isn't Toledo the one who's threatening to quit every other day?
I think he did quit. There were a couple frustrated posts I know in the Discord. I think it was Toledo who was like, "My team sucks right now. Like this is awful."
Well, look, I mean, if you can land Derek Campbell.
Yeah, land Derek Campbell, and that's all you got to do.
Yeah. I mean, he improved by 20 in his freshman year. He's up 8 right now. I mean, 16 pots it's unprecedented. Like, I don't even know what's the ceiling even.
Because, well, I mean, that was the conversation with Richard Love, right? Where he popped up. I think he was the first 15 pot, right? That was whenever I was just starting the game. A lot of people were wondering, like, what does this guy look like as a senior, as a college senior? And I think that with a guy like Derek Campbell, it's just so intriguing because we haven't seen this before. And he's going to give us potential levels of SI that we've never seen,
Right. But like, I mean, he's only the 5th ranked in his class right now, at least.
Okay. I see position rank number 2. I think I know the number 1 guy. I think it's a shooting guard in California, but I'm like, that's got to be so close. I don't know. I'm looking at that. It's crazy that a 16 pot isn't number 1 at his SI and position ranking.
Let's look at who is the top guy.
I think it's Jerome Humphrey. I think that's his name is Jerome Humphrey.
All right, after another technical difficulties, we're finishing up here, but we just wanted to look at the sophomore class, talking about Campbell here. You can see he's, like we said, fifth. Well, he was fifth. Where's he? But he's fourth here. Where's the other guy?
I don't know, that it doesn't make sense.
So, I've noticed that it before more with like in state, and I think it might be that there's a player who is yet to show up, but is in the database
That would make sense, right? That there could be some guy who pops up then, like
at the
at
flip. Yeah.
flip. Yeah, that's interesting that it might already have, data generated on him, but it just says for the top 10 prospects of the class, one will pop up as a senior or one will pop up. That's interesting.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I'm not entirely sure because it's usually only like a couple spots or so.
Mhm.
And obviously this is just one spot, although it kind of makes sense with it being this high. But yeah, I don't know. And I've definitely found players who have like IDs in the hundreds of thousands, and like, but their player page doesn't show up, so like
Mhm.
Campbell, you see here, he's 113,708. That's his ID. I've
Yeah.
seen ones who are like around that, but this page doesn't show up because they haven't appeared yet.
That makes sense then, right? That the system has them generated, but just hasn't given them a recruit profile, I guess.
Yeah, so if you can find that player who's ranked number 4 but hasn't shown up yet, then maybe you can even put a contact on him before.
That'd be awesome, right? You could just be it high and he pops up with a flip and everybody's like, wow, this guy's hacking.
Yeah. That'd be so funny. That'd
Forums
be incredible.
be on fire if he was in like Indiana, it'd be
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's he's a 16 pot, obviously the only 16 pot right now. I believe, maybe I'm wrong, but you figure there will be more soon, just like with Love being the first. More 15 pots in his own class showed up. Tom Stewart, I think Guillermo Cordero
yeah.
is one. Right, I was just looking at that. Yeah, Cordero, Tom Stewart right here. So, yeah, there should be more 16 pots on the way. But we just don't know their ceiling really. We don't even know the 15 pot ceilings yet. They're not even seniors yet.
Right. It's funny that, whenever when we had Richard Lev pop up and everybody's freaking out about 15, it's kind of like, okay, what's this going to be? And then, 2 seasons later, we already have, or 3 seasons later, we already have a 16. So when's 17?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, when 17 coming, exactly. I don't know. That'll be interesting. Hopefully it's in California, right?
Yeah, maybe not. I don't want to put off after watching you with Hoff. I don't know if I want to commit to that.
Yeah, that's been frustrating.
Oh, I'm already on my I know you've seen it. I'm already on my 5-star journey now, and every time some interest comes in, I'm just sending angry messages in the Discord. So
Yeah, you understand the struggle, the stress, the battles, and it's just begun really because you're on like sophomores, right? So and a freshman, I believe.
a sophomore and a freshman. He was actually on that top 5 you were just showing.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it'll be fun, just have fun with it. Yeah, I don't know. Mine's not even done yet. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, we'll see if you're saying have fun with it this time next season. That's
Well,
probably a better way to look.
we'll see how early I jump off the wagon too, because
Yeah.
you know me, I've also talked a lot about like I'm out on Hoffmeister on this battle now.
I think
And
you won the national title. That's what changed everything, and it was like I can recruit Hoffmeister. Like I can.
yeah,
So, but I know being risk averse in recruiting, I think is smart for a lot of players. Like, so even though you've dumped those resources in, it might be the time where you think like, okay, what is the suitable backup? What options can I get? I mean, that's a real conversation that I know you've had, and
yeah,
think about for sure.
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, the time will come soon when we have to address that. But
Maybe off the
yeah.
side, maybe you're just gonna keep dumping all the points in them. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you want to go over here? I think hot prospects again. Is there any other hot prospects to
Not
look
that
at?
that I knew of. I know there's another guy up there who's an international who's got some buzz, but I don't think he's
This
you know
guy?
yeah, he doesn't look like these other prospects. I think it's just because he's an international guy. But um, I think those are the guys I really wanted to go over. I know we're going to see some more of these guys pop up as the weeks go by when some of these other guys commit. Uh,
Yeah.
we'll follow up in a couple weeks and see where everything lands.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, just with this guy, like you said, with internationals, because they only pop up in that commit year, you have to like really pump points into them. So that's why maybe this is like higher up than it might be if he was a domestic, a US guy, you know?
Yeah, I just want to know, like, it says 10.1 on the scale of 20 right
Yeah,
there. But
right.
what does that mean? I don't know that. I would love to know.
Yeah, I don't know either, you know, like we said with Hoffmeister, it's like 16.4. It's like, what does that mean? It can't mean that there's 164 contacts in him because trust me, I put in a lot.
Right. My guess is there's some formula that it works with the amount of contacts he gets per day, because Hoffmeister's got to be getting like at least 10 contacts a day, probably more.
I mean, I'm sure Cal State San Bernardino's putting in two at least to no avail.
Cal State Bernardino, some of those other teams on a low, they're just all, along for the ride.
Trying,
So
yeah, yeah, they're trying, but nothing.
next to Cal State Bernardino in this time next year. So
Yeah, yeah. All right. I think that'll call it for today, just because we've had so many issues with the connection. We'll just end it. But we'll obviously keep talking, keep the discussion going. Comment your thoughts and any battles, recruiting battles or prospects you want us to look at. In terms of weekend topics, you think should we put out the call for, like, if anyone wants us to look at something for this weekend?
yeah, I think if you guys have a pressing issue that you really want us to dig into, or that you've looked at yourself and want some fresh eyes on, let us know. I think that's all. We talked that earlier. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't think this will be like helping teams like with their rosters and lineups as much.
Mhm.
I mean, if we don't get anything, and then maybe we can do that. But
You do not want
I
my
th-
help doing that.
I think this is more like Hardwood Universe wide type of things that we want to look at. So yeah, we have some topics we could pull out, or we do the weekly update. But yeah, I just want to get your guys' thoughts, the viewers, listeners' thoughts. Yeah,
Yeah, we don't want to just, weekend updates are, I'm sure they're fun for some people. I don't think we want to do that constantly. Like, it's not the main focus is this team beat this team. I think we want to kind of dive into some stuff. So, if you want to know about recruiting strategies, you want to know about players fitting your system, whatever you got on your mind, just throw it at us.
for sure. All right. Well, that'll call it for today. And good talking with you. Thanks for joining me, Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it.
All right. Till next time, I'll see you later. And stop recording. I forgot to